So this week, Bungie added Freelance Trials Labs. For those of you who don't know, that basically just means solo queues versus solo queues. This is something that, as a solo player myself, am very excited for and have been playing pretty much all day long. I'm not the best at Destiny PvP, I'm still learning, still growing, but as someone who doesn't have a fire team to run with all the time or every weekend to do, regular trials, this is a really good alternative. I understand that Bungie was kind of wary to do this because of potentially, splitting up the player base and having just too many different pools of people playing trials, but I really don't think it's that big of a deal because you're going to have the people who go flawless go into their own pool later on in the weekend, and then it's just either you group or you go solo. And I think going into freelance solo trials is honestly more rewarding than queuing up solo in the group pool. One of the biggest things that I've noticed in these solo trials labs is the difference in pace of game. Yes, I still have gotten rolled in some rounds, but for the most part, they've been pretty nice, going back and forth, round over round, really duking it out to get to those 5 rounds won. That's something that as solo players, you don't really get when you're playing in a group pool like normal trials. So to me, even though I was losing, I felt like I was still progressing, still learning, still actually feeling like I can enjoy this particular part of the game without worrying about the other people on my team. And when I mean worry about the other people on my team, I'm talking about the pre-made. So up until now, if you would queue solo, you would usually get put with a 2-stack and usually, verse, a 3-stack. That's typically how trials would go. And then if you lost that game or lost that round, you would be flamed by the group of 2 that were on your team because, it could be for a variety of reasons, whether you didn't go the way they wanted you to go, or there was just straight up no communication, whether that's because you weren't communicating or the team and comms weren't communicating, right? Like, there's a variety of reasons why that is, but solo players get blamed for when groups don't go flawless. With this, the groups can just hang out in groups and they can blame themselves when they don't go flawless because they're losing strictly because of their tactics or the team they're facing's tactics. Like, it really takes a lot of the pressure and the stress off of solo players who really just want to play a more competitive version of PvP, and going into trials when you're facing 3-stack after 3-stack just isn't a fun way to experience Destiny. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are saying, oh, well, just get a fire team and play group trials. It really isn't that easy for as many people as you might think, at least due to the surveys that I have been, kind of conducting on my own. I don't have, as I said, a team that I can play with every weekend to consistently grow, so that kind of pretty much limits me to solo queuing. And I really think that this should be something Bungie should consider, keeping for the long haul, because I don't see it doing any real harm. Now, I haven't done a ton of the, normal trials labs because honestly, I don't see a reason to. I know this is just a test and I don't know if they're going to bring it back, but I really hope that they do bring this back next week. I don't see why you would need to keep it out of the game. I guess we'll see what happens when, the weekend's over. We'll see what numbers they have, and then they can obviously relay to us their findings. But I really want to hear from the solo players out there who just jump in, whether you're trying to get the pinnacle or just trying to get better rolls on certain weapons and trials. Like, what do you think about the freelance trials labs? Do you find it fun? Do you find it a little bit refreshing? Even though it's the exact same thing, like, I find it refreshing because I know that if we lose, there's plenty of blame to go around because everyone's playing solo. It's not a group versus the solo guy. Like, it really, I can't stress that enough, how nice that is, at least for me, playing just a couple hours that the playlist has been out, to just remember, hey, I only gotta do what I can do, and then my team hopefully will do the best that they can do, and generally like we'll eke out wins. I think I've played about 10 to 12 games, and I've won about 6 or 7 of those games, and that's not bad in solo queues of anything. I used to play an MMO where there were solo queues for ranked, and then there were grouped. Grouped never popped because that population was just dead overall, like across the game, and PvP wasn't a focus there. But over here, with a bigger PvP community, I really don't see the danger of having 2 separate playlists. This way, you can keep all of the sweaty groups who want to stomp people, you can keep them in the other groups who, like maybe that pool just has other teams in it that aren't as good, and they can still stomp them without saying, oh, look, we're facing a 2-stack and a solo, let's just go kill the solo or whatever. Like, there's a lot of different things that you can do, or that they can do, and still feel like they're dominating. I really don't think that solo queue is a problem. I have been actually really enjoying this. It's probably the first weekend that I've enjoyed Trials since I started playing Destiny again. But guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you want to watch just casual fun Destiny, I stream over on Twitch. You can follow me there. Link is probably on the screen as as you're seeing this. Thank you guys again for watching. My name is Noble, and I will see you guys in the next one later on.